Hey, Denver. Hey, world. We're going to be talking a lot less about politics on this show, but it is notable that when Amanda Gorman on Inauguration Day came out in that beautiful yellow number, we all know that Michelle Obama must have been like, I'm Damien Dane, and thank you for rejoining the Sesh. They're still trying to figure out why 5,000 National Guard troops were moved to a parking garage to sleep. I'm still trying to figure out why they give a fuck to protect people that treat them like shit. Here's the thing. Concrete isn't an upgrade from a marble floor. 2 bathrooms for 5,000 people? And I can see Ted Cruz sitting there telling them which bathroom to go to. But, as I said, we're moving away from politics. It's all too easy to fuck with politicians, but if it is a big social justice issue or something like that, and we have plenty of them, trust me, I'll be on it. I guess I've pissed off a few people that don't seem to realize that I'm a rather plump little monster. That and the fact that it's fucking comedy give me the freedom that I need to feel in saying that the best place for your Christmas tree topper isn't at the inauguration taped to your titty. Yes, I know that it symbolizes peace and love. Yoko Ono also symbolizes peace and love. She symbolizes a piece of work, too. Especially if you've ever heard her sing. Have your kids been little bastards? Put them in their room and blast some Yoko, and I promise they're going to start minding you and eating their spinach. And speaking of star quality live vocals, did you enjoy Katy Perry? Several people said her performance gave them the chills. Gave me the chills too. I had to turn on the lights and look around because I thought somebody had stepped on the cat. Her costume reminded me of when I was a kid. I would wrap myself up in a blanket and sing my heart out. Katy did the exact same thing, just minus the singing. But you gotta say, the fireworks were really, really great. It's a damn good thing they chose that song, though, Firework, because I don't know what it would have looked like having an image of old Joe sitting there while Katy sang I Kissed a Girl. They're jokes. My guest tonight was a star on Skin Wars Season 1 and has a new book out called The Power of Pretend. Please help me welcome Mythica Von Griffyn. Hey everybody, I'm here with Mythica Von Griffyn. You have seen her on Season 1 of Skin Wars, and you might have seen that she has a new book out. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Mythica, welcome to the Sesh.
Thank you so much for having me today. It's such a pleasure to be here, and I appreciate you inviting me.
Absolutely. So how's your morning been?
Pretty good. Slept in, had a nice hot shower. It was good. My beautiful wife made me breakfast. Like, life is good.
Right? I need a beautiful wife or something to make me a breakfast. I need one of those. Oh, that's hilarious. I actually have the question. There's your question list. That was the question list for Kurt Cummings. I was about to ask you how you first got started in porn, but tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you know, when I was on Skin Wars, I was homeless. And so one of the things that I get a lot, even to this day, still on Instagram all the time, is, are you still homeless? And, and because for a lot of people who watch it on Netflix, it happened last night when they hit play. They don't know how much time has passed.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and
I'm no longer homeless. Obviously, I'm
right. Yeah, I guess that should be said. But That probably should be said. I know that, and I'm glad to know that Mythica has been to several of Lady Sativa's shows, or been near it and sucked into it, usually. Your work is so amazing. I'm gonna ask you to send me a few things that I can post. Of some of your work. You are
Sure.
just incredible. I remember my
Thank
first
you.
not my first boyfriend, but my first boyfriend in Denver. And I seeing Skin Wars, and we fell in love with you. And then it was after the fact found out that you lived in Denver, and then happened to run into you. What is the best lesson that you learned from being on Skin Wars, and how did
Um,
you learn it?
the best lesson that I learned on Skin Wars is that you cannot waste your time, energy, effort, frustration on trying to control what other people think about you. In fact, I have a somebody out there who created a Pinterest page on hating on me, like just sheer like totally hating on me. And so there's literally millions of people out there who have seen the show, and some of them love me and some of them can't stand me.
Well, there was.
And you can't waste your energy on that. You just can't. Like it's
Oh,
not.
and I mean, I know you to be a person that is constantly focused on positivity, positive energy, and what was it like to have to deal with with what must have been conflicting energy quite a bit?
Like on the show, you mean?
Right.
Um so the show was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Like I had to use all my resources. So it was physically the most demanding, and mentally the most demanding, emotionally the most demanding. We were deprived, food deprived, not because they didn't give us food, but like when you're on the show and um, you have 5 hours to do the big piece,
Right.
you don't want to stop to go eat and go to the food table,
Of
like
course.
offset, you'd lose time. So like you can't do that,
And you
right?
lose the zone, right? Do you lose the zone a little bit, like being in the zone on your art?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like if it was on your table from the very beginning, that would be different,
Right.
because then you could just snack. But having to completely go offset to go get it, like nobody did that.
I would be
Nobody
the
did
one that
that.
would end up drinking the paint water accidentally because.
Well, same for going to the bathroom.
Oh, wow.
Like going to the bathroom was like outside of the building. So
Oh my.
like,
They treat you
you
like we
know,
treat the National Guard. That's insane.
just like yeah, the bathrooms were outside, like in a trailer that was brought up to the building. It's a soundstage. It doesn't have a bathroom.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's interesting. I
Yeah.
I that I know that the behind the scene is a lot less glamorous a lot of times than what you actually see on the show. What was the most surprising thing about the behind the scenes aspect of Skin Wars to you?
Um, that magically I could break the rules where no one else could.
Ooh, care to
Uh,
divulge?
so like for example, you know, Rebecca Stamos, the host, right?
Mhm.
That everyone's like goo goo gaga over.
Yes.
So I would do stuff that like nobody else would get away with. So I intentionally made sure that I was the last person to get on the bus
Okay.
because I had a plan. And that was to hug her.
Nice.
Right? So everyone's like, I want to be first. I want to be first. I don't want to be last. I'm like, I'll be last.
Ah,
So I was
perfect.
last, and I'm like, can I give you a hug? And she's like, yeah. And so I hugged her, and everyone, when I got on the bus, was like, well, I want to hug her.
Exactly.
And
That was brilliant.
I'm
So
like, but
you
that wasn't your agenda, now was it? And then,
exactly.
and then, you know, when the first opening shot comes and you see the people step out of the Skin
Yeah.
Wars
Uh-huh.
logo.
Logo.
So one of my friends who ended up being the judge um, on the I think on the third episode, which is the grocery store, you know,
Mhm.
where the camouflage people come out.
Right,
Uh,
right. And you one was painted into the shelvings and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that artist is a friend of mine, and she's like from England.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, you're here. So I didn't ask anyone's permission. I just walked right up to her, gave her a hug, talked to her and everything. And then when Shannon tried to go,
Uh-huh.
they were like, no, sorry, no, you can't. And she did. And they're like, sorry, no, you can't.
Well, that's juicy because that was the prime conflict on the show was Shannon and Mythica. Team
Yeah,
Shannon
yes.
and Team Mythica.
She was like, well, why does Mythica get to do that? And I was like, because I didn't ask, I just did.
Because my soul's prettier. Mm.
A little shinier.
Oh yeah, definitely. A little more glimmer. Um, Tell me a little bit more about the power of pretend. Tell the viewers about that.
So, The Power of Pretend is a book that I wrote about how I turned my life around after Skin Wars. Basically, I got told that being on Skin Wars was going to solve a ton of my financial problems in terms of people were going to book me for things, and I was going to get people who wanted me to like be their poster child for products and all this kind of stuff. And actually, the reverse of that happened. It was financially the worst October I ever had in terms of body painting, and uh, except for the pandemic where nothing happened.
Right, right.
But I didn't get anything. And I started calling people, being like, dude, why didn't you call me? And they're like, well, we figured since you were in Skin Wars, you were already booked.
Oh,
Well, we
wow.
figured since you were in Skin Wars, you're too expensive now.
Wow.
And
That makes
and
sense
so
that
like
that
at
thought.
the last minute, I had like one friend who was like, by any chance, are you available? And I'm like, God, yes.
Right.
So I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was just like, all right, this is not helping. And you you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it, Einstein.
Ah,
Okay. And so what I realized is that I had to change how I was self-identifying, because I was identifying as homeless.
okay.
And a homeless person cannot solve their problems.
Indeed.
That mindset, right? So I had to change my mind. And The Power of Pretend is about how to do that.
That's that's inspiring as you always have well as you always have been to me. I remember there was a time a couple of years ago um a club had canceled one of my shows and I took it very personally. And
Yes,
I
I
sent you
remember.
the letter that I was going to send or that I was going to post.
Yes.
And you told me, and I remember it to this day, it's when you have the opportunity to break something or build something, build something. And I still think about it and I constantly use that. And so
That's
thank
really
you for
great.
that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
What's up next for Mythica?
Well, because of the pandemic, there has been like zero body painting.
Yeah.
I can count on my hand how many my one hand how many body paintings I had last year.
Wow.
And they weren't full. One was full body frontal, for somebody who had already experienced my transformational body painting,
Mm-hmm.
which is an experiential thing.
Okay.
And then two others were two ladies who had spent the pandemic together, beating cancer and getting chemo treatments, since they both started on the same day, and you're not allowed to have family with you for support because you can't let anyone in the hospital
Right.
other than the patients. They became each other's support buddy.
Oh.
And so they had survived cancer and wanted to celebrate that. So I body painted their chests, post stuff.
Got
So
you. That's beautiful.
yeah, and that was really awesome. But that's all I did for the whole year.
Well, hopefully we can get. I mean, there has to be a lot of. I mean, there are tons of drag queens and everything that watch the show, and they're just. I'm sure that there's a reason that a person would need to be body painted. I have this whole idea of celebrating quarantine bellies rather than shaming them, and so maybe we could have some quarantine belly painting going on. I think that would be fun.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
Just pops
I'm all
into the head and,
for sending love, because I personally love bellies. I have recently, during the first part of this year, painted two baby bellies, so that was really happy.
Yeah, I could see that being like really. I mean, who wouldn't want to have that done as part of the process of giving birth? Is to have, you know, art be part of the process. I like that a lot. I want to promote that. Well, that sounds awesome. I hope you'll come back and join me. Maybe we can do a live sesh where we watch you paint and everybody gets to experience the power. But until then, you can all watch Skin Wars, watch season 1. And
can I give you one more thing?
Please do.
Because I really wanted to do this.
Okay.
So what I wanted to say is, since I haven't been able to paint, I've been creating something else called organite.
Okay, right. The pendants that I was seeing.
Yeah. So, but I do way more than pendants. Like.
Oh. Ooh.
So this is called a Lemurian charging plate. It's when you put 9 pyramids together, and it's like whatever it is times 9, like energy-wise. And
I'm all about the power of 3, the number 3. So 9 is a 3.
It is, yeah. And I've just been so like I made this to help me with like the pandemic, in terms of like all the angst and everything that was going on. It was really terrible. So I made this for peace with communication.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I could look at it for a while.
And then because everyone was being nasty and stuff like that, so this one has love yourself on this side, and it has love thy neighbor on the other side with a big old peace symbol.
Amazing.
So this is what has been saving me, and in fact I made my own organite. Like this is mine.
Love it.
So sorry, I know you were ending it right there, but I was like, oh no, I really wanted to share this.
No,
I'm
that's
so
completely
excited.
fine. I want to. Is there a place I can send people to purchase?
Yeah, they can go to my Instagram,
Okay.
And that's really simple. It's IAM Mythica.
It'll be popping up right down here, right while you're saying that right now.
Yeah, on my Instagram, I post these.
Amazing. I'm so excited about that, because I like comedy a lot. So I went towards the idea of making the jokes about the charging of crystals and stuff like that, because this, there's humor and everything. But when I watched a little bit of that in action and working in someone's life, I was like, okay, the jokes are fine, but don't block out the reality of it. Don't block out the power of it,
Yeah. So I had this the picture that I gave you where I was holding a little Buddha.
Yes.
Remember that? So that Buddha went to this little boy who is 17. He wasn't supposed to live past 24 hours.
Uh-huh.
he can only make some guttural noises, and
Okay.
he can look out from his eyes. He can like sort of wiggle a bit, but he can't walk. He can't feed himself, clothe himself, anything. His mom has to do everything.
Right.
They haven't slept for 17 years because he has seizures.
Oh.
So I sent them that Buddha, that picture I have with you, and his mom came back to me and said, my son slept for 12 hours. It was the first time we slept as a family through the whole night. And Mythica, he didn't have one seizure.
That's beautiful.
From that Buddha you have in the picture with me.
That's beautiful.
So I'm like,
that's good to know, though.
yeah, like it makes me tear up even just now.
Oh, I mean, to know that has to be just like the most when you talk about the sleep deprivation, people don't really know unless they've either a person who's been homeless knows about sleep deprivation. A lot of people that have never been homeless don't know that that's part of it. That, and that psychosis that sets in can be just damaging to oneself and around them. That's amazing. I'm proud of you. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
You. All right. Okay, you can go ahead with your closing.
Oh no, it's fine.
I'm so sorry.
No, people are gonna want to hear that for sure. I'm so glad to have had you. Please tell me that you will come back and visit with me again.
I want to come back so much. I feel like there is so much we didn't get to talk about. I can't wait to come back again.
For sure. Good deal. All
Thank
right,
you for
Mythica,
having me.
well, have a wonderful day. Fear not, love forth.
Thank you to Mythica. Here is her info one more time. Thank you so much for having a sesh with all of us. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you all back on Monday. Black Lives Matter, and yes, I will say it every show. I know I have some viewers that don't like some of what I talk about. I've even gotten a couple of death threats, but I'm not too scared of them because they're mostly from people with no profile pics. But I'll tell you, I'd rather be taken out for trying to help people than to die angry that they're getting help. I'm Damien Dane, and we'll see you back here in the Sesh Circle soon. Fear not, love forth.